Please subscribe and share this video with your friends. Hello everyone, this is Marni Batista from Dating with Dignity, and once again you will notice he's dark. He's handsome, but he's not as tall. This is Corey Jenkins. Woo!
I tried to make the hair a little taller today
Exactly.
so I could confuse people. Just try to fill Christian shoes.
Exactly. Well, Corey has a great brand out in the world, and it's lifewithawareness.com. And it's really a perfect mix of like dating and dignity and self-awareness. So I just thought, in my mission while Christian's out saving the world, I would bring you more hunky smart guys.
And by the way, I'm not that short. I am a full 6'1". Maybe
Okay,
not
there you
6'3" or 6'4" like Christian, but we'll see if we can bring it today.
Okay, maybe in a later episode you'll stand up and we'll do the knee shot.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. So today we are talking about first date tips for women. And so just so you know, he is in a committed relationship. So sorry, ladies. But you went on a lot of first dates in your time.
I definitely did.
Okay, so we were talking, you said something so profound, really in alignment with that awareness. What's your number one best first date tip?
It's be yourself, and it might sound profound, but it's really that simple,
Right?
which is just be yourself. There's so much dating advice out there. There's so many books, but some of them are written because they know you're going to buy it rather than trying to provide value to you on your date. So really remember that after you read all this stuff and you get all this advice, don't forget to be yourself. Be who you are so that person gets a real idea of who you are on the date.
I think that's so brilliant. And here's the thing, because I asked you, what does that even mean? And so you and I were brainstorming. If you value the date as an experience in itself rather than it's a destination, it's like I win, I lose if he asks me out, there's so much sort of mental gymnastics. And then you can't be yourself.
Right, and sometimes people get too caught up thinking, let me do the right thing so that this person's going to ask me on another date. But really, I think it's just as good of a result if you are yourself, that person. Even if there's not a match, then instead of going out on a second date with that person, you may end up on a first date with someone else that you're a better match for.
Right, because then you're dating from this place of abundance, not lack. Oh my
Absolutely.
God, he's one. So we were talking also about some real tangible guidelines for that first date. And one thing that I want to bring up is try not to be in an absolute, a black and white. I never do this. I don't ever want to have that. I hate this. My ex was this. Right? Because what happens when a guy hears that? What goes on?
Well, first of all, it's a little bit of a block. It's just sort of a closed way of being. And
Right.
the thing I was mentioning to Marni is that every time you connect with a new person, what you think you like might shift just a little bit because there's a new exchange of energy. So yeah, I agree. Avoid absolutes because maybe this new person is going to bring something into your life that sheds a new perspective, and all of a sudden you may be interested in some things that you weren't interested in previous relationships.
That's such a great example. I have a client who actually told me a story, a male client, and he had a vision for his life, and he wasn't sure if he was going to stay in California. He thought maybe he would move back to the East Coast. His family was there, and he was on a first date, and this woman said, "Oh my God, I would never live in the East Coast," and he was like, I guess I won't be taking her out again.
That's an interesting one.
Right? Because you never know what's going to happen. So avoid absolutes because you want the guy to really put you in context.
Yeah.
Before you sort of give a role.
That's a great example. I've had that experience. In fact, the woman that I am now with, on one of our first dates, she mentioned she was getting ready to move to another state. And so I called it out and I said, well, how is that going to work for your dating locally, including this date? And she said, you know what? If I meet the right guy, some things could change. And so it was good that there was kind of this exchange of part of what was going on in her life, which is cool, so it's good. And at the same time, she showed some flexibility.
And we talked about this in a lot of the things we were brainstorming, but I'm going to bring it up now. Communication on a first date is really great. So asking questions that are not so closed-ended and really getting to the heart of what a person's values are. So how can a woman ask a question about whether you would want to have a family or kids or where you want to live in a way that doesn't put you as the guy on the oh God, I'm being interrogated?
That's a great question, and it's a little tricky, but I fully support direct, open communication. And sometimes women are taught, they shouldn't communicate directly. It could be intimidating. It could be emasculating.
Right.
I don't know. I would say risk it. If there's something you want to know, then, with sensitivity, ask the questions that you want answers to. I mean, it sounds like Oprah's dating class,
Right.
but in a way it kind of is. If there's something you want, ask for it. But yeah, with a level of sensitivity, recognize that you're talking to another human being, and then ask those questions. Just be real clear and real kind when you do it.
And if you're being your flirty, authentic, feminine self and you're asking those direct questions, it's the hybrid, and we'll talk about that in another episode. But then you are super hotsy-totsy and he'll want to see you again. Okay, Craig, I got it. We got to go do more Dating Den. Corey, thanks for being here.
It's
I
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it. And we will see you soon. Peace.
See you next time.